to Gethsemane. It is an area that's very amazing. It's like a meadow up here on the mountain. Gethsemane is a place where God comes to meet sometimes. Not that he doesn't meet anywhere else, because he does. He'll meet us in all kinds of places, in all walks of life. But here in particular, it seems almost like a thin place where he finds his way to be here with us. And I have spent much time here just enjoying what God has to offer. So, it would seem that I've arrived at one of my most favorite spots up here on the mountain, where God has shown me many, many different things. At one point in time, when I first came up here, on the very first time, I had been seeking a job and wasn't having much luck. So my men's prayer group, we started praying on Thursday mornings, and this was about January, and nothing seemed to be coming. But in April we came up here for a retreat to Three Crosses, and it was at that time that God spoke to me. I was very clear. I was sitting on this very bench, and God spoke, and he said, "This is where I want you to work." Well, my first reaction was one of complete disbelief, of course, because they didn't have any money. So I'd always associated work with money, but that's not how God works. Instead, he had a different plan. So I told Jeff, when I was finished my walk, that God spoke to me and that I should come up here and work and help. Well, 2 weeks later, I came back up, and I stayed for almost a year and a half, traveling back and forth on the odd weekend to Georgetown, but then staying in a friend's house up here. And first winter, I think first before the winter, I worked on the trails. I cut down trees and small trees that block the trail, and just cut trail so that we had a good trail from here, from Gethsemane up to Golgotha, because at that time one didn't exist. And then I blew the leaves, and I blew them all clear. And then we started doing renovation on the church, and so I stayed that winter and spent the whole winter working in the church each day, and I would go home periodically to see my wife, and who was in full support of all of this at the time. And then the next summer I worked more on the trails, and I helped with the retreats that had booked and came up, and I made breakfasts on Saturday mornings, sandwiches for the lunch, and dinner on the Saturdays. But better yet, I was able to listen to the people sharing their experiences with God up here on the mountain as they took the time to just listen and journal. And some of the things that they journaled were just absolutely amazing. But better yet, it would seem that everybody who came up here, God healed spiritually in one way or another. Made it very special. So I spent the next 5 years, so that would have been a total of 6 years, coming up here every summer from April until October, working on the trails, working on cabins, working on anything that really needed to be done. It was a wonderful time. God took care of me and kept me safe, gave me energy. But better yet, I could sense Him with me each day as I was up here. It was a special time. I'm so grateful that I had that time. So very, very grateful. God had the grace to bring peace to my heart, draw me closer to Him. There were many people I met while I was here, but best of all, I met God on the mountain, in Gethsemane, down at the lower three crosses, at the upper three crosses of Golgotha. There were times that He showed me different things that were special, that spoke directly to my heart. And I appreciate those times, for they were wonderful times.